You need to give him a girl.
Seriously. So, this is the first Ghost Company voice chat. It seems like it starts recording immediately, even though looking at the YouTube channel, it takes, 20 seconds or 15 seconds or something to get rolling and start. There's always uncomfortable silence at the beginning of most people's live streams because they wait until that actually starts. You can see it on YouTube or whatever. So I'll take a look real quick just to
Should
see.
it pop up in the videos section?
Yeah, like I'm looking at a creator studio dashboard, on like logged into this channel or whatever, and
Okay.
it's showing live right now. So, let's see, how would somebody else see it while it's live? I would have thought it should show up.
There it is.
Oh, you got it?
I hit a refresh.
All right, cool.
Yep. You sound good.
Okay. So if you may want to, like I said, turn the volume down on your iPad or mute that video on your iPad,
Yeah.
so that we're not getting multiple like feedback, multiple recordings.
Okay. Yeah, we both sound good.
Cool.
Yeah. I'll turn them down now. I just wanted to double check that.
Sure. So let me. Yeah, I got Photoshop again, and I just trying to get back into it, and I quickly created a new background for Ghost Company voice chat. So anyway, well, cool. Then let's check out. Let's see how this ends up working. Where is it? So I guess as far as when we're doing this, there may be some kind of delay as far as when you see things appear.
Yeah, I would think at least 15 or 20 seconds, right? So
Possibly. So let me know when you see it change to the territory war map.
about 5 seconds, just popped up.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So, people started. Well, somebody was. I think it was Time Killer asked, "Hey, could we start putting, GK Zeris and CLS all in the front?" And man, I think we might be able to actually do that.
Yeah, we got 6. We have 31 CLSs now. That's
and
pretty
that's
impressive.
Yeah, we have more than that actually. We have like 37. That 31 is just only including like, there's maybe 1 or 2 included that have no Zetas, but they're gear 10, gear 11 or something. So the 31 is really only including like mainly the G12, at least 1 Zeta. So we have even more than that actually. So
that'd be awesome. 15 in each would be great. Yeah.
Yeah. Part of what we do is gonna always be determined by how many people actually join, obviously. So we've been roughly getting what, like 46 to 49 or whatever.
Yeah.
So
well, we won't get more than 48. So
yeah. So I think that if we do that, it's really gonna end up making them possibly decide to go all in on one route more than we've seen the enemy have to do in the past. Because that last one just baffled me. I just did not understand what in the heck, how they could have had all, because that's what they did. They had pretty much GK Zeris and CLSs in both territories in the front, so how the heck they were able to put all those in and make it through, like, most of what we had out there, kind of blew my mind.
I don't get it either. Yeah. Because they had to keep back some CLSs, right? I mean,
yeah, they would have had to have. So I hadn't really, gotten a full grasp of exactly how many of our guys might have held their CLS squads for offense, but it never seemed like it could have been all that many,
No, I mean, I had that 110,000 team in the back, and they just took it out like it was nothing.
Yeah.
I didn't even see them have to even use 2 teams for it. So
yeah. So I don't know. Hopefully, I mean, if we could get people to do, I'm assuming you just possibly saw, or maybe you had already seen the whole new Takalombi thing.
I did. Well, yeah. Remember we talked about it the last time we were on
Oh,
chat together.
okay, yeah, yeah.
And it was great, man.
Oh, that's
It
right.
was an amazing team. Yeah,
That's right.
yeah.
Yeah. So, man, if we could get like even 20 of those or something, um, that that could take out a whole Phoenix thing. Or even if I really think if you saw the right combination of an even more difficult team that just didn't have any AOE somehow, or counterattacking. But I mean, even counterattacking wouldn't be a problem, assuming that Acolyte pretty much is stealth the whole time. Man, that could.
Yeah, I mean, and I've boosted up my Newt, so I don't know if that helps or not, but at least he'll be alive maybe a little bit longer.
Yeah, I mean, it'll help a tiny little bit just because he'll be around and be doing a little bit of damage, definitely.
Yeah.
But so it's possible that they had something like that already figured out, and we're able to take out a whole area of something that we're like, how the heck did they do that at this point in this game? So
yeah, I wish we could talk to him and ask him.
Yeah,
because we probably won't ever play him again. So
I wouldn't imagine, no. So I feel like never doing the same thing twice so far on defense could be, making it a little harder to really grasp exactly what we should be doing, just because, you never know what the other people did and actually had, and who set stuff up and who didn't. It would take so much effort to go through and analyze their entire defense and how many members put defensive squads in. I mean, it's possible, but I sure haven't had the time to try to do that,
Oh no, I think we've been really lucky so far, but
yeah.
I like this new layout you have, though. I really do. I like having the front loaded, making them. It was very frustrating for us.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's definitely tending more towards the type of thing where you're not expecting them to get terribly far, and we're probably not going to get terribly far either if they do anything either like this or that's a really good defensive setup, because we may be putting more CLSs on defense than we have in the past. So it will continue to be, we might try this and it might be amazing, and then the next time if we try it, we're like, all right, that's it, we're doing that, and then the next time they blow right through it all and we're like, how did they do that? So you never know. But I think if we try to do that, and the Zols, I really think it's probably not as any squad is just not as effective the closer to the front it is, beyond the GK Xeris and CLS stuff, because obviously that's like the top meta. Anything else that's not meta, that's sub meta, that the closer to the front you put it, the harder time they're gonna have actually defending, because they'll still have plenty of good stuff left. So I don't know. We could think about. I mean, I like the Phoenix being a little further back, because was it just one time that we put them in 2A?
Was that where we started? Then we moved them back to 2.
No, I mean originally we had them like down in 3C even.
3C, right? And then we put them in 2A. I like 3B. I also like the Zeta Qui-Gon in 3C. I think those are hard to get by with weaker teams.
Yeah, agreed.
Yep.
So First Order I'm on the fence about, because it's close to the beginning. They say they choose that route. They go, they get through the 1B stuff that we put in there. First Order sure isn't the greatest. We do have a lot of Zetaed Kylos, so you'd think that unless they're really overestimating and just throwing in teams that they are sure are going to be enough, we'd have some of those Zetaed Kylos survive one attack and cause a problem and make them use an extra squad or at least a few tunes or whatever. So I don't know.
I think that's who my next Zeta is going to be on. I think just for because he has a ship. So
yeah.
and I'm going to try to use him with that Millennium Falcon. That I tell you what, if as long as he doesn't get the ability block on him, I wipe out a team in like 30 seconds.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's awesome. Yeah, I haven't even tried it yet myself. I have just the time that my Fleet Arena payout is. Well, obviously the hour after my squad. It's even harder for me to actually do anything and really spend any time on it. So
I just play around with it after it's done,
yeah,
usually, and if I have extra battles left, yeah.
Yeah, I should for sure. So, looking at what we're talking about here, like the Zols, we've only got so many. It's what was it, 20 actual Zated Mauls. I don't know how many of those are, that really have the recommended or near the recommended type of squad that's actually going to cause a problem and be difficult. But we would need to fill that with a little bit more, at least, obviously, and we'd probably want it to be difficult things. Our nasties, as we call them.
Nasties, yeah.
Which it's funny that that's worked as well as it has, with that being so nebulous and what people consider nasties. But I haven't seen anything go terribly wrong with our setup based on people having to come up with their own interpretation of what that means.
It's whatever your nasty's team is that's not listed here, I guess. Because like my clones with Leia, I mean they're 85,000. Not, I mean the power number's not that great, but they can regenerate health.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
they're a pain. They can be against a weaker team.
Absolutely. I mean, like I said, it's any of these squads that we put towards the back where it's like, yeah, they stood up to 5 attacks or whatever. It's like, of course they did, because they don't have anything left. So, but like, we saw we had the one where they had a pretty hefty whole territory full of lots of Night Sisters. And granted, they had about, well, it was probably a little better. It seemed like their guild had gone a little further overall with Night Sisters than our guild has as a whole. But after seeing that and then thinking about it, like, man, we get to the back and it's like maybe me and Molly have a Zeta Talzin and a beefy Night Sister team, and it's like one guy's just got to have one trooper squad with a Zeta Veers, and that is absolutely, and they save it, that's no problem to get through. The one time I think I had my Night Sisters maybe in 4B, and it got down to that with a couple squads, and they tried to beat those and didn't have the right stuff left, and we thought, oh yeah, they're amazing, we just have to have one of those. No. one guild happens to have a few trooper squads, and somebody keeps one until the end just in case.
That's it. Well, do we have anybody like that?
And what do you mean?
That has a set of Veers and Imperial troops that they can.
I would, what? I have mostly. Let me go over to the .gg page actually,
because that would be probably a good thing for us to think about, is to tell people, don't put these in on defense.
Yeah.
And save them and keep them until we actually need them.
Let me go ahead and create a what I'll do really is just, even just do a unit search, look for Veers, and because that would be good to know, because
I was upstairs. Okay.
I know Ewok has one, like a real beefed up, awesome trooper squad. I have a pretty good squad with Zated Veers. I just Zated him actually, so I'm just kind of getting to. Why am I going to V for Veers?
Because it makes sense in your head, but it's G.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it doesn't let you filter back. It doesn't let you highlight the gear. I should have just said, I'm gonna do that. Set up a squad real quick. Now I know to go to G.
Or you just go up there and type Veers in. I bet it'd show up. in a filter.
That's true, yeah.
There he is.
So we have 5 total that are Zetaed. And really, like, the star level, possibly to some extent gear level, may not really matter, you know, depending on the squad. I'll set up the whole squad just so we know for offense exactly what we got. But so yeah, if we have everybody save those for offense just to make sure. And then I'm wondering if we were to possibly, because I know Iron Man mentioned in the territory war discussion, you know, put all our Night Sisters in the back, you know, figure out some place to put a bunch of Night Sisters. And what I'm almost wondering is if we were to say, like, take 3C and put at least one of our 2 best Talzin squads, you know, Zetaed Talzin, a good, you know, like Molly's or my Night Sister squad in 3C, along with some other Night Sisters, you know, maybe limit how many or a power level for the Zeta Qui-Gon Jedis, so that we only get, you know, however many of them. If assuming that it's 25 per territory, say we get 20 of them, and then we get one of our 2 actual good, or even 3. I think Iron Man has his Talzin might not be level, but I think he's got a good, you know, Night Sister squad with a zombie and a Zetaed Talzin. So any one of them we put in 3C, say, and I'm only saying 3C as opposed to 3B and then doing this with the next territory after that, because Phoenix we have a pretty good number. Well, yeah, we could consider either. But what I'm thinking is, if we'd say we take 5 slots from one of those 2 territories, 3B or 3C, put at least 1 actual good Night Sister squad, 5 or so, 4, 5, 6, you know, of whatever the next best ones we have are in there, and have them think, okay guys, here's where we use our Zetaed Veers. Yeah. And if they've only got a few and then they end up using them, then in the next territory we have at least 1 more hefty Night Sister squad. That may help more to ensure that that one actually is a stumbling block, that they're not going to have something that will just mow right through them, you know.
I think it's a good idea, but I mean, I wonder if 3B might be, because you know they're going to go through the top, because everybody wants to go through the ships.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
So maybe we'd put, because you'd always sprinkle a few of the Phoenix down with the Qui-Gon too. I mean,
very true.
If we have extras.
Yeah, very true.
You know.
So yeah, you might be right, because that's the thing. 4C, we do have many more actual good
That's
droids.
My cat. No.
Yeah, I can hear it.
Sorry.
That's okay. We do have a lot more good droid squads. That same thing, you know, if they've really gotten worn down, those droids do a lot better than you'd expect once they're trying to throw whatever they have left at them, you know. Where 4B, Ewoks, we have nothing. We have Ewok spies, amazing Ewok squad. I have a squad with a Wicket, you know, that's, I don't have any Zetas or anything, so it is just already not the same kind of thing as Ewok spies version, you know. But then
there's nothing like his.
No. Then after that, it really trails off. You know, people just have not put anything into Ewoks, understandably so. So we have a lot more to actually do to fill in that territory with nasties or whatever. So maybe it would be good to do it in the Phoenix territory, because like you said, you're right, most people, especially when you put pretty much the same thing in 1A and 1B, they have to decide, well, which one are we going to start with? You know, they're going to pick the top one to try to work towards ships. So it may be best to put whatever best tricks we have, like the Night Sister fake out, something along those lines. Yeah, like you said.
Would it be weird to even put them in the 2A with the Zal?
Not a bad idea. I mean, hard to say, because there are other counters to Night Sisters as well. Anything with like Chase is a great, you know, counter to Night Sisters. Um, if you get them kind of worn away and get a few characters killed, then it just comes down to, do you have some, tunes that have squads that have some kind of health regeneration and any kind of AoE to take care of the whole acolyte zombie thing that happens at the end, once they're all that's left or whatever. So, hard to say. It seems like the same kind of thing. Like, we really don't have much when it comes to Night Sisters. We've got 3, like, good squads, I think. We do have, like, 4 or 5, I believe. Let me change back to .gg and take a look at Night Sisters. We have 4 Zated Towsons. So,
wow.
Yeah. So like I said, Iron Man's is a pretty damn good squad. That's going to be, one of the ones that we want to strategically place for sure. But then after that, they're going to cause some, some difficulty or whatever, but it's not going to be quite the same thing with, her Zeta. The leadership Zeta is what creates the whole characters coming back from the dead, and if they actually get a kill when they come back from the dead, then they stay back from the dead, and blah blah blah. So
if my team is at the 12th best, we're not doing too well in that.
So yeah, we have to be kind of strategic. It's just like all of the other, kind of weaker way sub meta squads that we're trying to use, where the further back they are, the less they have to work with on offense, to be able to try to deal with it. So yeah, hard to say what's going to end up actually being the best. So let's yeah, not sure. It does seem like if we're going to try to trick them, that we want to clump them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Clump the...
Especially since we only have 3 or 4 pretty good teams there. So
Right.
Yeah.
So it might be good to even have, like, one, actually, either mine or Molly's, fully fleshed out, in that in the fake out territory. Say it's 3B, we'll put one of the good ones there, along with however many we end up deciding, 4, 5, 6. We could go even further and just let them take them out, but hopefully have them blow the things that are, classically good against them, whatever they have figured out. And then in the next territory have 2 really good ones that they're like, oh, even if somebody saved one, awesome trooper team, there's 2 they have to deal with, So it's a possibility, at least.
Yeah. I think it's a good idea. Put them all on one.
Yeah.
So just make it difficult. That's why I thought, when the first time I had my best team, and then Ewok, and then yours in the back. They just, with those 3, it was so hard by the time they got there that they couldn't finish that.
Right.
That area. Was it 4B? I guess it was.
Mm-hmm. And it's so hard to get a grasp, just based on your perspective of what the enemy does, because you have no idea how organized are they, how intelligently are people actually, is the the bulk of people attacking on, are they, because we see things where, like, oh, my team survived, oh, they survived again, oh, they survived again. But it could easily be some, less informed, not really making great decisions type of person that's actually doing that. We have no idea. Maybe it was somebody that used an awesome squad, and it really was as awesome as we thought it looked,
Or somebody like you had 30,000 K team left,
right?
Because it was like the bottom 5 guys, and you're like, well, I just made the team stronger. So
right.
Before I left, yeah.
CLS is, man. There was, I guess, it was that last one. It was either the last territory war or the one before that, where, I think someone had already hit a squad, a CLS lead. There was like 3 characters left, and I'm like, all right, I can go in and I might have used a whole squad, but it was definitely like a B or a C type level team or whatever. And I think I killed one of the three. Then I brought another team in, and I killed the next one that wasn't CLS. And it was like, by the time I had finished the first 2 battles, CLS was back to full health and full protection. Like, are you kidding me? I don't have to bring in a third full squad to beat this one CLS. It's like, what?
If you're lucky. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
If you can't stun him, you're screwed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
I love hitting Thrawn on his fracture on him so much.
Yeah.
So I usually just ignore him in the arena until the last. I know a lot of people talk about taking him out first, but I take him out last.
Yeah, I generally would probably wait on him also. Just, especially, it depends on what you're using, but if you've got a General Kenobi and that's what, part of most people's squads, if you look at the meta reports and whatnot, most of the time.
TK's trying to get into voice chat.
Oh, nice.
Said he can't get in.
Huh. Hold on a sec. Let me.
It says he's in here. It says he's in along with Portis, or how are you, Porthuous, or?
Yeah. It does show that he's in.
Yeah.
Hey TK, if you can hear us, type into the voice chat. And Porthouse is typing also. Oh, this cat.
He just typed, "Can anyone hear me?" I said, "No." It's weird.
I know I've voice chatted with him before. It was a long time ago, but let me
It's weird no one's been able to get in since you and I started.
Yeah. Well, Porthouse, I think, has jumped in before and just listened, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, okay. And he says, he typed in here that he's going to switch over to YouTube. Okay.
Yeah. Hold on just a moment.
Sure.
He said he could hear us for a few seconds. It might have been that we stopped talking.
Yeah. You know what? Just out of curiosity, I'm gonna jump off and see if he can get in, and then I'll jump right back in.
Sure.
Okay, just to see if it's some kind of glitch.
Yeah. And I'm going to switch to .gg where I set up Jedi Training Ray and BB-8 just to get an idea of what we've got, because it's definitely something that we could consider. I guess a lot of people might want to use it on offense, but it's a very, very good defensive squad as well, so could possibly be worth throwing into the mix. Got Mr. Time Killer trying to jump in. There's Mutai's back.
Yeah, I'm back. Yep.
Huh.
Did you hear? Did anybody get in or?
No. I haven't heard anything from Time Killer. It doesn't look like he's muted or anything either, so...
Yeah, I went in there and looked at that too. I didn't know you could actually server mute people. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, TK, I don't know if you can hear this, but let me just type into Discord, find out how he's trying to connect to this. What do
you hear me?
Yeah, is that Port?
This is Porthous.
Porthous. Now I know how to pronounce it. Porthous. What's up, man?
Yeah, it was a character that I created for WoW. He was a rogue. I wanted to go with Porthos from the Three Musketeers.
Ah.
The original spelling was taken, so I just added some news in the end.
Nice. Okay. That's awesome. Good to talk, man. I don't think we've ever talked before. What are you thinking about the territory war stuff we've been talking about?
Yeah, I've been listening, and looks pretty good. I mean, sounds good. I just got to get my characters up because they're not very good at this moment.
Yeah. Well, everybody throws in what they can. I actually just saw, I don't know who all really watches live stream kind of stuff and you know, the game changers and whatnot, but Cubs Fan Han, one of the more popular ones, just put together a territory war, sort of a video that's more about how to personally set yourself up, look at your stuff, and decide what you're going to put on defense. And he didn't even really talk so much about what are good defensive squads, what are good offensive squads. But anyway, the point being that he's got like a 1.6 GP, and he sets like 2 defensive squads, and they're nothing like meta or anything really good at all. And then he showed maybe like 4 offensive squads that he has, or just a few, and they're totally just, you know, ragtag, putting together whatever he's got. So there's a couple things you can think about, you know, that can make what seems like a non-traditional squad work pretty well against certain things, but everybody just does what they can, man.
Yeah, I've put in a few. I've got a GK Zaris that I put in, and I've got a Zeta Mall team that I put in. But other than that,
both of those are about the biggest. They're the most useful ones on defense as far as I'm concerned. Other than, you know, the few odd things that we try to throw towards the back to just stop them, possibly as a last ditch kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it helps, man.
And I've got a 7-star Acolyte and 7-star Newt that I've got in Zombie, so I'll probably use them on offense against Rebels, the Phoenix squad.
Yeah.
Try that out.
Indeed. And when you do it, just make sure you look for one that doesn't have Sabine.
Because of her AoE.
Yes, sir. So have you tested it at all? Have you tried it in Galactic War or anything?
Yeah, I have. I've used it with the 3 of them and Leia and Hermit Yoda.
Yeah. Well,
and it's worked pretty well. He's for one fight, but
yeah, that's the thing. That could be awesome if you get a feel for how that works, having those extra characters on there, and what you could actually take on because you have those extra characters. But I would also try to test with only the 3, you know, Newt, Acolyte, and Zombie, just to get a feel for that also, or, you know, see what you can use them against. Because if you're able to use just those 3, like you said, it's only one use. So if you can get through a squad with just the 3 of them, and then keep you said Leia and R2, you're using like the quintessential. If you can save those 2 tunes to use on other squads, whether on defense or on, you know, on other squads for offense.
Yeah, I was using Leia and Hermit Yoda.
Oh,
Hermit Yoda, though, his stealth breaks pretty easily or pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he's going to be as useful on a full-on stealth squad. I wouldn't use R2 just because, again, his stealth isn't as good as Newts or Acolytes or even Leia's, just because they can continually have theirs up all the time almost.
Right. Yeah, I think that whole thing is just more people trying to use that in Arena. They just need to get through one battle, and they just need all the little tricks they can to get it rolling, So, but yeah, it seems to me like if everybody was able to try to get a handle on what they could take on with just those 3 characters, leaving any other useful tunes for other squads,
Yeah.
That would be awesome. So, the only one I've really found that I was able to really test so far, not that I've had a chance to do it a whole lot, because a lot of times my Galactic War, I'm like, oh, I got 15 minutes left. I gotta get this Galactic War done.
Yeah.
So I haven't gotten to test a whole lot more, but it seemed like against Phoenix, man, it's perfect. If you can find a Phoenix that doesn't have Sabine, they've got nothing they can do, basically. But it could be that way for pretty much any squad that doesn't have AoE, so.
Yeah, it's an interesting squad. Another one that I was looking at was with Fulcrum, Geonosian Spy, Grandmaster Yoda, and Chase.
Nice.
Because there's a lot of buffs going around. Yep. So Geonosian Spy and Fulcrum, they have both of them have abilities that depend on how many buffs they have on them. So
yeah, awesome.
Figured that would be an interesting squad to try and play around with.
That's awesome, man. I've definitely neglected my Fulcrum Ahsoka. I haven't really played around too much to try to figure out where the best place for me to use her would be. I don't have her Zeta'd or anything, so
and with mine, I've got her almost at 7 stars. I don't do any gear leveling or actually ability leveling until they're at 7 stars, and I'm going to use them just because I've got other tunes that I want to focus on and level and everything else. So.
Right.
Yeah, but it's an interesting squad to play around with because they can do Fulcrum and Spy can do a lot of damage if they have a lot of buffs on them.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
Especially the Geonosian Spy, because he dispels all stat effects on himself and on the target and uses all of them to determine his damage.
Yeah, nice. Man, I haven't played around with him at all. I'm like almost completely unfamiliar with him.
Yeah, same here. Yeah.
So I guess you'd have to, especially for that kind of thing where you're really trying to, look at your team getting buffs and having that really help whatever mechanics, you kind of need to look for squads that don't have dispellers of their own on them to fight.
Yeah, because if you have someone that has, that does buff immunity or dispel on any of your characters, they're pretty much not that it'll hinder them a lot. But the other, like I said, I was going to go with Grandmaster Yoda because he can steal buffs from the other team and spread it around to both of them and even up their damage even more on them.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'll have to think about that because I'm pretty sure I have my Spy at 7 star at least, but just hadn't geared him or done much with fleshing him out otherwise. But I'll have to take a look at that because I hadn't really found, like I said, even for Territory Wars and a B, C, D squad for offense, hadn't really found anything really successful to use her on. So Fulcrum, that is. What's the story with? I'm noticing looking at the Jedi Training Ray and BB-8, and have you had your? I'm assuming with 2 Zetas on Ray, you've been using that for a little while now, Mutai.
I don't use her a whole lot. People just seem to walk right through me.
Are you talking about in Arena, or are you talking about? Did you set her
in
up?
Arena?
Okay.
Yeah. So, but I used her. I've been putting her on the Territory Wars with CLS.
Okay.
And I've only used her on defense in there. So.
What is your actual squad on in Arena?
Lately, I've been just using Lead Rex with Kenobi, CLS, Nihilus, and God, what's his name? Admiral Talkin. Yeah, and I just fly through everybody.
Huh.
I fly through Rays. I fly through everybody. Hermit Yodas, everybody. Wow. Don't fly through Hermit Yodas, but I get by them all.
So, if you tried Jedi Training Ray at all in Arena, what did you put with her? I'm sure Kenobi would have been there, R2, BB-8.
And Thrawn.
Okay. And people seem to not have a problem with that?
Yeah, people seem to go right through me.
Had you ever tried putting Chopper? I don't know what your Chopper looks like specifically, but...
I have not tried Chopper.
There's 2 Team Instinct guys on my Arena. Both of them right now have that team with Chopper instead of, Old Ben or Thrawn or CLS or whatever. So...
I have him 7-star, but he's only gear 10.
Well, hey. That's not so bad.
Yeah, I may try him. Can't hurt to try it.
Yeah. And I'm not telling you what you need to try to do in your arena as much as a possible...
Oh, yes, you are.
I maybe.
You're our guild overlord.
It's worth trying possibly because I'm sure you realize that the whole reason that people use R2 generally, I mean, other than the amazing utilities that he has otherwise, but one of the most amazing things on that squad with BB-8 is that they both go so fast at the beginning because of that extra... 8% turn meter per droid that's on the squad that they get?
Yep.
So that's one of the main reasons that people started using Chopper, is because that means that all of their droids are going before any other Jedi Training Ray team that has 2 droids. They're going first. Everybody's going first.
Oh.
So
boy, that might be a good idea. I might try that tomorrow.
Yeah, I would give it a try. And Jedi Training Ray, I just feel silly because I just have not tested her much. I haven't done much because I don't have Zetas. I have her gear 12, but just once she came out and everybody started putting in her arena, and I just tried my Night Sister abomination against them and had no problems. I was like, well, why would I waste these Zetas and have the exact same squad that everyone else has? But unfortunately that's also led me to not play around with her at all. So I don't even understand what it is, or don't know yet. What is it that makes it so that she is included in that? When the droid there, the 2 droids go first on that squad, and she seems to end up going before my R2, which is like a 285 speed, I think.
Wow.
And she ends up still going before. She's not a droid. She's not getting that turn meter, and they sure don't have her at 285, but for some reason, she ends up getting to go before my entire team also when I fight one of those, even a 2 droid squad, let alone a 3 droid squad. Whatever happens, that she gains something from whatever it is, if it's the BB-8 spreading around the not the illuminated destiny, but some people call it the pile of poop or whatever, because it's so small on their it's so small on their phone that they can't tell it's like BB-8's head. Secret intel.
Oh, it's secret intel, right, yeah. I actually just spit out of my mouth. That was so funny.
So, let's see. 30%.
Yeah, he gains with that secret intel, he gains 25% potency when another ally uses a special ability.
Yeah.
And then they get it for 3 turns.
Yeah, so maybe it's yes. Like it's not their R2 throwing out exposes first and giving them all 5% turn meter, because he always uses his stealth thing first. So okay, When another ally suffers a debuff, or another resistance ally gains secret intel, Ray gains 8% turn meter. So that's where it is.
Yeah. Well, I have one battle left today, so I'm going to change my team. Just see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, I can tell you that I had to fight that exact squad. There's one of the biggest whales in the game is in my arena, in my payout. He never gets to play during our payout because he's a doctor. So he's rich and he has everything absolutely maxed with everything that you can buy. You can't really buy Zetas necessarily, so he's limited there. But I had to fight him twice. We're always fighting him to try to send him back and then jump forward and whatnot, and I fought him twice today. I fought him once, then had one of the guys in my payout that I collaborate with. I changed to an easy squad, had them hit me and move me back further so I could hit this guy again.
Wow.
And both times, man, I had to sit there and shoot at his chopper like forever, it seemed. I'm basically like just waiting for the plague to just, melt everybody's health away. And man, he just lasted forever, it seemed. So it's possibly different, when other people are using CLS squads or other Jedi Training Array squads, but seems to work pretty well. 2 Team Instinct guys on my shard are using that squad, so
it's gotta be something to it then, right?
Yeah, I'd imagine.
Yeah, well, I'm just getting ready to put them in, so we'll find out here shortly.
Nice.
Well, overnight anyway, let's put it that way. So I'm going to try and get his speed up a little bit more. Or should I leave his protection up? No, screw it. I need about 10 credit heists. I need some more money.
Seriously, you can never get enough cash.
Okay, confirm. I'll go back. We got away from territory wars, but that's okay. So,
yeah.
So you're saying JTR, the 3 droids, and Kenobi?
Yes.
Okay. All right, they're in there. Let's see what happens. I'm gonna auto against another JTR team and see what happens.
And what the heck?
Oh, they just wiped out my chopper. Just got killed.
Oh, you're kidding.
No. I think this team is really fast. I'm playing against. My Kenobi's still alive though, so I'm happy about that.
Yeah. It's so crazy using at least a couple Night Sisters, because it's like no one's ever really dead.
Yeah.
They're probably going to come back.
There goes my Kenobi. Oh well. Oh, 3 against 3. Wish I could show this on the YouTube. It'd been interesting.
Yeah, seriously. I was just going to try to throw my iPhone, which I've just done now, just to show. I went to look at my arena, and now of course one of those 2 Team Instinct guys has all of a sudden changed to an Asajj lead.
Oh gosh.
And not the one who's the mega whale. He used an Asajj lead and all Night Sisters up until like 2 days ago, then all of a sudden finally changed to...
Okay, I just won.
Nice.
Yeah.
So if you're able to see on the live stream...
Okay, hold on. Let me get out of here.
Sure. I'm assuming you're playing the game on your iPad?
Yeah, I just let him. I didn't want to beat the guy because he's one of my payout guys. And if I took his spot, he might get mad at me just because. But I'm still in 4th place after what, 3 or 4 hours later.
Nice.
So hopefully I'll stay there. So I'll go back to YouTube. Okay. Oh, it looks like I got stuck. Oh, it did. Let me catch up. Let me go live. There we go. Passing, Doc. I wonder if that's my brother.
Well, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he's an anesthesiologist.
So is my brother.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I thought you were just saying like he had gas or something. Like,
oh,
this
no,
like my brother.
No, he's an anesthesiologist, but he would never spend money like this on a game, so
no,
that's not him.
No, yeah. I mentioned this guy's name a long time ago somewhere in our guild's chat and Discord, and Jan apparently is an anesthesiologist also, and he piped up right away. He's like, "Oh, I bet that guy's an anesthesiologist."
Yeah, yeah. He's on the West Coast, right? Isn't he out there?
I believe so. Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah. So, this guy was using an Asajj lead with Zetas, and he ended up. Take a look at this real quick. Let me.
So he uses Ray. Okay.
Oh, that's
Instead
right.
Of, Kenobi.
Yeah. I forgot.
Yeah.
He ended up throwing Ray in. But look at this guy's roster.
Well, if he's got a 3.7 million galactic power, I'm sure he's doing okay.
Yeah.
Wow. I bet I've won more squad arena battles than him, though.
Well, it's crazy because he's never had the greatest mods, and that's another thing where, like, you could see how every single character he has and is gear 12.
Holy cow. No, it just popped up. Okay.
Okay. So
we should just change his name to Solid Gold. Jesus.
Seriously. So, unfortunately, because that's the way he plays, every single character that ever comes out, he immediately completely maxes. He did that with his Night Sister zombie before everybody realized, oh, the thing to do is to not do anything with your Night Sister zombie. So
so all his characters are gold.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Yeah. And he's got lots and lots of Zetas, more than you or I, for sure. I'm sure because he immediately got Talzin to 7-star, Wicket to 7-star. As long as you could have been getting extra Zetas because of those, with those events coming up, he's been getting those Zetas, So he was stubborn and tried to use a Night Sister squad with a maxed out zombie. And it's, it's a pain, especially he was using a Zeta Asajj, which it sounds like, way top end mega whale type people that went Night Sisters realized that, if you get everything all maxed out, Zeta Asajj actually works better than Zeta Talzin. Having Talzin on the squad, but using Asajj as the lead, so. And it is good, because I have to say, one of the territory battles, I had to platoon my Talzin, so I used Asajj as the lead without the Zeta, and it worked really well, actually. It still just walked right through it with no problem, and...
Wormy. Another Team Instinct.
Yeah. So...
Meowbaka. That's an awesome name, Meowbaka.
He's an awesome dude, too, and he's really funny.
I can't remember Chewbacca, or Chew on the Bach, or whatever. I forgot what his name was. He changed that during the last guild we were together.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he used to be somebody else, and we were changing guilds, and he just went and changed his name.
Nice.
So, yeah. I thought about changing mine since it's named after my buddy's dog, but...
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, but it's fine. I like it. Evidently, his dog's named after a marathon runner, so...
Is that how you would say it, Mutai?
Mutai, yeah.
Nice. So, anyway, we've gotten off topic, obviously, but...
We forgot to take our Ritalin.
So, yeah, I think that I like our overall, defensive setup in Territory Wars. There could be some major shift that eventually we decide, but it seems to me like, especially having more CLSs now, we could definitely try pretty much what we've been doing, and load up the front two, and then just have to kind of think about, what will happen if they go all in the top, and what's the best way to try to, use up as much of their inventory as they try to do that as possible. And it seems like Zal is a good thing to put there, I think, personally.
I always have trouble against them, so I think it's a good idea.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm leery because that last guild just really baffled me. I don't understand, because we did that last time. We didn't have GK Xeris's in the bot. Or no, I'm wrong. We didn't have the Zals up there, did we?
We had them below. Yeah, they were in the front. They were in 1B, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So we had some ragtag empires and nasties and whatnot up there. So maybe, do we put a certain number of rogue ones, or were we still putting rogue ones with the Zals?
And Turner, I think we put them with the Zals, because I put mine in there.
Yeah.
Because we don't have that many good teams. That's the only problem is you put the rogue ones in, it kind of messes up two of my teams. But
oh yeah.
But they're just got such good synergy together. It's hard not to.
They do. But I mean, say, we put all of our Zals up there, and we've got 20 of them. 20 people are willing to put them in there, and they're not something they really rely on for offense, because I don't believe we've ever gotten 20 in there. But if we were to do so, and then just put 5 Rogue One squads, and if someone like you was like, that really breaks up a couple squads, you could just keep them, and put them with other, break them up and put them on other squads.
Yeah, I like my Chays with my Wigs. I think they work well together too.
Sure, that's on offense, or are you putting that on defense?
I put them on. I like to use them on offense, but I haven't used hardly anybody on offense since we started playing, because I've been putting so many teams on defense.
Yeah, definitely.
But this is okay. It's okay. It's fun to sit back and watch sometimes, and it's amazing some of the teams that you put together, how well they do.
Yeah.
Even though they're only like 50,000.
Yeah. Absolutely.
They can take out some teams. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't understand how I've always put at least 8 defensive squads in, and somehow I'll still end up with, it's going to include a few fleet battles, obviously, but maybe 12 offensive wins. And I'm like, how did I even scrape together?
Wow.
I don't understand, but...
Because at one time I put 14 teams on defense, and I think I still had 5 wins on offense.
Awesome.
But some of that was mopping up after other people, so you can't. I mean,
Yeah, that's
don't really count that.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess that's true. I would have, a small handful of what I was able to do probably was the same thing, I guess.
It's all for the guild. I mean, that whole thing is we got to quit making this about individual stats, for this at least, and say
absolutely.
It's all for the guild.
Absolutely. I mean, the only reason I even mentioned it is because, like, how did I do that? I
yeah.
It's
fun for yourself, but we were keeping spreadsheets and stuff before, and I think that kind of made people think a different way than they should have.
Yeah. Oh, as far as territory wars, for sure. For sure. Yeah, territory battles is another whole topic that...
yeah, I got to mix it. Yeah, and that dark side, don't even get... I'd rather have a colonoscopy than play that stupid thing, so...
It seems to me like there are, maybe I'll even go in and show,
Did you see that thing that Molly posted about, some kind of Reddit posted that the rebels should have just put the 6...
Oh, yeah. That was awesome.
They could have won the whole war with them.
So I don't know if it's up on the live stream yet, but I went into my squad management.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
And at one point, a few dark side, the last one maybe or 2 ago, I finally set up a page specifically for dark side territory battles in phase 3, because I was trying to figure out how to spread them based on what you needed to do. What were the requirements in that phase or whatever.
Oh, good idea.
But it seems to me like, man, these 4 squads you're seeing right here have gotten me 404s all the way through phase 5 at this point.
Okay.
So the bounty hunters.
You should share that out there with everybody.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing. I'm hesitant in so many different aspects of this game to try to give the guild advice because I have a lot of stuff that a lot of people don't have and are going to be like, yeah, you have fun playing with those, and maybe in a year. So it just, I can. But it seems like, eventually, once people are able to work on all these extra peripheral Night Sisters and troopers and whatnot, there's got to be some other configuration. Obviously, I've put and it was just towards the last phase or two of this. It might have even just been the last phase of this territory battle. I changed because I had Death Trooper on the Trooper Squad. And it seemed like the Trooper Squad was such overkill. I mean, even in Phase 5, it was just crazy overkill. And
wow.
That was with Stormtrooper in there instead of Death Trooper. So I figured, well, I'm definitely going to just go with this because Death Trooper being with Krennic, it makes that way better if you have a Krennic and you have a Death Trooper. Because I'm so unfamiliar because I hadn't really used them together, but one of Krennic's moves, calls Death Trooper to assist every time. So
right, yeah.
I saw a lot of very key things happen. Like, oh, I didn't even know that was going to happen, and it did, and it was awesome. So I personally think that I don't know if this same makeup for that Empire squad with Palpatine as the lead, if there's a few changes that could be made, and if I don't have my Thrawn's leadership Zeta'd, if I did and there was some makeup that would be better, maybe that would be better. But man, this squad, I think Sidious is just, if you can work something out where he's not gonna get attacked very much, which this squad obviously doesn't even have a taunter on it, but with all of the turn meter gain from AoE debuffs coming from him, Vader, Krennic, Death Trooper, man, I did not have to deal with, and just in general, looking at all of these squads, I did not have to deal with that enemy huge AoE, platoon controlled AoE attack that they have that just demolishes your team. If they get to do it more than once, that's it. You're gonna die the second time they get to do it.
That Palpatine team is the same. I have the exact same team, except I don't have Krennic at 7-star yet. So I use Talkin, and they fly right through.
Yeah. Well,
it's the only one I got 4 out of 4 on.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I actually was not using Stormtrooper at all before, and I had Death Trooper with the troopers, and I had Tarkin on that Palpatine squad, and nearly as awesome. Or probably as awesome, just because his AoE, which throws debuffs out there, is not resistible by rebel enemies. So he could easily, do just as well in there. When I changed to this, I was kind of thinking, like, should I get rid of Vader since his Zeta isn't really being used, with him not being the leader? And I was trying to decide between him and Tarkin. And I really just went with Vader just because he's more survivable. He can take a lot more hits and whatnot. So,
and he gets that quick turnaround off from Palpatine. After he uses his,
exactly. So that's the thing.
That with Talkin, if you can get Talkin to go first and then have Vader pop up, you can wipe a guy out real quick.
Yep. So the big thing with at least the 3 besides my bounty hunters, that are shown here, they all have mechanics that either reduce, take turn meter away from the enemy, or just massively give your own team turn meter. I barely had to deal with that big AoE thing. I guess it's the Rebel Airstrike, since we're fighting the Rebels, yeah.
Right, yeah.
I didn't have to deal with it. That's part of the reason I was able to get through all 4 waves so far, basically. It's just because, obviously there's a lot of gold characters here, so they'd survive 1, possibly even 2 of those, maybe a little more than less fleshed out characters, but that seemed to be a big part of it, was that I didn't have to deal with that AoE quite as much.
I'm still trying to figure out why chose bounty hunters as a special team for this one, but
I have no idea. It's insane. I mean, they do have mechanics where, if I should have Greedo, probably I'm guessing on that squad, and I don't. Maybe I could even consider whether he could go in for Dengar instead. But man, between the thing with thermal detonators and Boba's leadership, where they gain turn meter whenever one goes off, and Zam not only throwing them out, but gaining 100% turn meter when she shoots one with her basic.
I love that. That's why I went after her just for the credit heists.
Yeah,
it's at first because
it's amazing, and man, I didn't do that, and I just did not realize that whole mechanic. I don't even know. I think that's only been a thing since Boba's rework, probably, right? That was added with his rework, the whole gaining.
Yeah, I think his was because I never even had Boba up much.
Yeah, so man, that it almost feels like a resistance under a Zeta Finn type of mechanic, basically, where you get them out there, her turn comes up again, and you start shooting them. You shoot one, everybody gets turn meter, and she gets 100%. She doesn't always go immediately because somebody else might have gotten 100% as well, from that happening, and then they go before her, but she just gets to keep going until you've shot them all, assuming they're not stealthed or whatever, and you can actually get them.
Or they don't cleanse. Yeah.
And that seems like a key. Plus, Boba Fett being able to throw that ability block out there helps that as well. And having a beefed up one, and I mentioned, I think in the game chat, because somebody was like, "How did you beat that special mission?" And I was thinking, well, I do have a Zetaed Boba, so that probably helped, but really it didn't actually. The Zeta only adds when he gets a kill from execute, he gets 100% protection, which that wasn't necessary. He didn't really get all that damaged, and it was the same kind of thing. Even that squad, the only reason that I made it was because maybe Dengar died, because they might have gotten one of those AoE things off. But otherwise, just all of that turn meter manipulation, I didn't have to deal with that AoE very much. Otherwise, like, you can see those two, Cad and Dengar, they wouldn't survive more than one of them for sure. Yeah.
It's crazy. It's good to know. I mean, something for me to work on even more. Yeah. I got more guys. There's so many teams I want to work on. It's great. It's just... It's
too much. Indeed.
Now I'm working on my troopers, but...
Yeah.
Yeah, that's always been one of my problems. Just so many tunes and so many squads that you want to work on, and you just never have enough resources or time to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Got to prioritize, and it's like that's why this Dark Side territory battle, it just blows my mind that they released this when they did. Even now, even if they were to release it right now, especially with it, being as tuned the way it is as far as difficulty, is just insane. What are they thinking? And the way they did it, and the way that it was so broken, it seems like they absolutely had some reason that they had to release it, like way before they intended, because it's so silly. They had to understand that the dark side doesn't have as much to begin with as far as just total characters, but even more than that, total, like, good characters. There's lots of good characters, but nothing like CLS and Rey and R2, and the way that stuff works it's just silly at this point.
Well, they released Executioner this week?
Yeah.
And then it's a requirement in the territory battle.
Yeah, well,
to platoon. How's that possible?
Well, it's now been, I don't know, I'd have to guess 2-3 weeks or something, 4 weeks, that they basically announced that they were going to start having the first 3 phases be static platoons, and you thought it was bad before, and you were complaining. I'm not talking you, but I'm talking the collective player base.
You can say you. I was complaining. Yeah.
that we're putting these, characters that were just released like a month ago. Well, get ready, because from now on in phases 4, 5, and 6, you're going to see absolutely everything, even if it was released yesterday. So they're basically splitting it up so that, phases 1 through 3, have fun, whole guild of, whales all the way down to completely free to play, or whatever. Enjoy it, because when you get to phases 4, 5, and 6, sorry about your luck. So that's been a thing for a little while, yeah, where just they basically said anything is fair game in those last 3 phases.
It's not a lot of fun, I can tell you that. Well, everybody, I think we all could, say that.
Yeah.
It's just frustrating.
Mm-hmm. So, and even more frustrating, just with the state of Darkside characters in general and how difficult these are, especially getting towards, the phases 5 and 6, and how difficult it is if you can't platoon, 2 of the 3 possible sets just because of, brand new exclusive pay-only tunes. The couple that you can finish, like we've been talking about, is if enough people give those up to fill those platoons, those people are not going to be able to do much, even with the bonus that you get for filling that one set of platoons. It would help the whole guild, I suppose, if there are enough people that can give them up, I guess, but getting one level of that platoon bonus is probably not going to make a noticeable difference to begin with.
I mean, it didn't make any difference today. This one we had this time, did it?
I
mean, we did. Did we even get 2 platoons in ships?
In ships we did, yeah. Thankfully, so far we were always able to get 2 in ships, or 1 set,
1 set, yeah. But did that help? That it didn't seem to do anything below, or did that hinder the their air attack? See, I can't even remember anymore.
Yeah,
I'm trying to go in there now.
I have to always go back and take a look to see. So,
okay.
Yeah, usually it's some sort of bombardment or strike. That's like an offensive bonus, as opposed to taking away what they have. It's more the ones that you have to fill, and towards the end it affects the same territory that you're in. At least some of them.
So it says we have level 2. So deal physical damage to all enemies equal to 60% of their maximum health. Dispel all buffs. I don't remember even seeing that. Rebel strafing run. Oh, maybe that's their run against us. Yeah. So they're still level 2.
Oh, yeah, you know what? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm stupid.
Yeah.
That is the rebel strafing run, so that is a defensive thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that
so
is...
if we got them down to level 1, they do 20% less damage. And if you get the whole thing done, you disable it.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Yeah, okay.
So, but ships is the same thing, obviously. They say sprinkle. They seem to leave 2 of them, whether it's ships or ground platoons. They seem to leave 2 that don't have those exclusive brand new units, so that anyone could do it. Thankfully, ships, it's much just the... I guess I'm really... At first, like, especially in Lightside territory, I was like, why did they make ships so easy? I mean, all the way through Phase 6, like, you almost can't lose,
Right. Yeah.
So, but now I'm thankful for it, because having to platoon, all of some of your best stuff definitely makes a difference.
Man, if I do a full squad and don't platoon anybody, I only have 1 ship left over. There's not that many dark ships.
No, there aren't. I feel the same thing. I mean, when the territory was at 4 that has the 2 with the special mission, yeah, I've had 2 squads.
Oh, right, yeah.
I had 2 squads. I think one of them I went in with 4 ships, and one of them I went in with 5 ships total.
Yeah, I screwed up and platooned too many, and I could only do the special mission.
Yeah. Well,
because I figured that was more important than the other one. So
it is absolutely, because look, obviously we got 3 stars anyway, so it isn't that big of a deal.
Yeah, you cut out there for a second, but
oh, sorry.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter actually. I mean, at least if a few people were to only be able to play the special mission, we're gonna get 3 stars anyway.
Yeah, that's why I kind of figured might as well get the extra whatever bonus we got out of the special.
Yeah.
So.
And the same thing with, well, I mean, we were kind of close. Yeah, we were only like 6 million, 5 to 6 million short in Phase 5 and getting 3 stars for ships. So, but I mean, it's not the same thing. You don't have a special mission to deal with or whatever.
I just noticed we only had like 12 people play the mission so far.
The ships
in
mission?
Phase 6. No, in the other missions, you know, B and C.
Yep, 10, 12. And I'm not really sure if it's, you know, people just when they can get to it. If people are like, I hate this. This sucks. I'm not going to do this. Or they just put it off and they drag their feet because they're like, I don't want to do it.
Just, you know, once they deploy, it doesn't really matter, I guess, because I thought about not playing, but I thought, well, if I just get one, you know, because if you finish the first level, it's like 200,000.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, anybody that's just like completely distraught because they just are not ready for this at all, getting one wave, the deployment for that squad, and then mass deploying in the right place, that helps. That's all we can ask from anyone, you know.
Oh yeah.
So, any people that have some beefier squads that can help, you know, get a little more by getting 2, 3, 4 waves wherever they can, obviously, is where a lot of it comes from. But everybody doing whatever they can definitely all adds up. So.
And I've been working on, since the last time we had a chat, I've been working on Sith Assassin, so. Because you said you might need him for the next guy coming up.
Well, that's another thing. I
literally just 7-starred Sith Assassin.
Nice. I was just listening to the Galactic War Report podcast, and they mentioned a post by Kazi Spoon, I believe, on Reddit. No, not on Reddit, or it was either on Reddit or the official forum, and it was a thread where they were talking about that whole rumor, which it's just a rumor, where, you know, people are saying you're going to need Sith Trooper, Sith Assassin for Revan, who is coming. Usually, almost all of those rumors that we end up hearing about come true, and whatever was recommended that is probably going to be what you're needing, you know, pretty much is what happens. But Kazi Spoon interrupted in the middle of one of these threads and said, you know, just want to officially chime in here or something and say, you know, not to base your farming on completely unsubstantiated rumors. So, yeah. I know that there's a lot of people, including me and my good buddy Darth Sherm, who I was like, you know, he's always talked about Revan. If Revan's going to come to the game, that's the one thing I'm going to go all in on. I'm going to actually consider spending money to get and whatnot. And I was like, well, there's a rumor, and these 2 characters are all that have been talked about so far. Obviously, if anybody knows anything about Revan, which I don't know the most of anyone necessarily, but HK-47 should be involved. But, you know, I was like, you might want to start looking at these 2 characters. And, you know, obviously Sith Assassin is available in the guild store, so it's at least somewhat farmable. Especially if you need to try to do Trooper at the same time from the Cantina node. And I was like, if you're talking spending money and or crystals, you know, even if it's just crystals you amass, or if it's spending money and buying crystals, that it seemed to me to be better to buy Cantina node refreshes, because you're going to get more shards for your crystals basically than what you get for spending the crystals in the store. So let me take a look at shipments and see if he happens to be in here. He is. So just to remind myself, 4 shards would be 320 crystals, 8 shards is 640 crystals. So the Cantina node, if you spend 300 crystals buying Cantina energy refreshes, he's been doing this now for a handful of days to a week or something possibly, and he says that he's getting like 9, 11 roughly shards for him, and that's spending 300 crystals plus whatever you can amass, and he's, you know, probably is real anal about letting it fill up naturally with whatever you can and then buying, you know, refreshes with crystals and whatnot. But he's coming up with like 9 to 11 or so every day, so that's definitely the way to go if you have to get Sith Trooper. But now I'm like, I just heard this literally like 2 hours ago on this Galactic War Report podcast. You know, Kazi Spoon was saying, don't, you know, plan your farming based on unsubstantiated rumors. And I don't know why she would say that, other than to get people to stop farming for that very reason. It's possible that they could be more thinking that if they can make people think it's not going to happen, and then whenever it's a week away like they always do, and then they're going to release the information and say, guess what, you need Sith Trooper and Sith Assassin, gotcha! And, you know, then make more money based on people more having to panic farm instead of knowing a month in advance like they kind of should. So
that would be the nice thing for them to do, but
yeah,
they're also wanting there to make money. So
yeah. So now I don't know. Do I tell Darth Sherm, stop farming Sith Trooper and Sith Assassin? Or, you know, it's ridiculous.
You can't win.
No, you can't.
Speaking of can't win, we've almost been on here for 2 hours, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm going to pop off.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Yeah, this has been an awesome test, and we actually got to do a lot more than I would have expected, so super appreciated.
Yeah, man, it's good talking to you guys.
Absolutely.
I'll see you in game tomorrow.
Good listening in for the most part and talking a little bit.
Absolutely, man. Good to get to talk a little bit,
Yeah.
Porthouse.
Good to talk to you guys.
Absolutely.
All Porthos. Right, is it Porthos?
We're
going to call you Porthos.
Porthos, Port, whatever. Doesn't matter.
Cool.
Just pour me a glass of port. We'll be happy.
Absolutely. Yeah. Oh, I totally do. Everybody's obviously noticed. Come up with shortened nicknames for absolutely everyone. So anyway, well, awesome. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, guys. Talk to you later.
See you guys around.
See you around.
All right. Thanks, man.